So the Valentine's event has come to an end, and I'm very sad that it has ended because it was action-packed from start to finish. It really does feel like the Halloween event from 2020, and I hope that the developers do release events that are similar to this one in the future. Of course, I really hope that the next ones are better, but overall, Lowsec was action-packed. There's literally non-stop action from start to finish, and I'm very happy that I was part of it. So today I will show you some of the best targets that we had and some of the last fights that we had in this event. It will be a mix of solo PvP and of course the classic fleet action, so there is going to be a lot of ships to shoot. But with that being said, I think it will be time to prepare the ship, to prepare the implants, the modules, and I think I'll be flying the Cynabal and the Stratius, but mostly the Cynabal because the ship is just very suitable for the job. Okay, so the first target today will be an Orthus. Now we have destroyed I think 3 or 4 Orthus ships throughout this event, perhaps even 5, and we also have destroyed a Barghest, which is a
warp drive active,
very expensive battleship. So overall, there was action from start to finish. Now I'll take the Cynabal. The Orthus has been tackled by the worm, and the worm is holding tackle. Now the Orthus is in about 55% shield. They have been scrambled and webbed. They are using the missile implant, and they are currently using the precision missiles against the worm, so they are doing some good damage on the frigate. However, the Orthus naturally doesn't have any good tank, so it's very easy to go through the shield, armor and hull once you get close to the Orthus. And the Orthus has been destroyed. Okay, the
warp
wreck
drive
has
active.
been looted, and now let's warp out. My friend was left in hull, so I almost came too late. The Orthus was baiting, I believe, because their build was a PvP build, if I can recall. 4.3 billion, not bad. And yes, this was a PvP build Orthus. Although there are some modules that I would change. I would use a micro warp drive, for example, not a afterburner for a long range kite build. After all, the Orthus, while it's fast, it's not really fast. With the afterburner, you really have to use the micro warp drive for the long range kite build. That's the optimal build for the Orthus with the normal medium missiles. Okay, next target we have a Harby. Now I think the player's name will be familiar to you. The player already had a lot of appearances in the Cynabal Rome videos many times in the past, including a Stratius video as well, and a Macariel one. And well, the Harby is at 0. Let's quickly tackle. Somehow I clicked unlock, however the scramblers are still holding for a full cycle. Scrambled, webbed, approaching to 0. Harby is in hull, damage control and shield extender activated.
We're under attack.
And the Harby has been destroyed. Well done. And I got some free B-types for the 6th or 7th time. I collected about 20 B-types from that Harby so far. And they never changed the build. They always use the same B-types over and over again, day after day. And I think I have like 20 billion in ISK just from the B-types that the Harby dropped over time. And of course, let's align to the station. Let me show you the kill. 3.7 billion Harby, a B-type Harby, a cursed B-type Harby. Well then, I guess a hybrid tank it is. That's the current most popular build in the game. Why is that the case? I have no idea. But it is very, very sad. Okay, let's go to the next target. I think we have a Gila. And yes, it is a Gila. Alright, let's warp. I really do like this build on the Cynabal. It does work really, really well for this job. The classic hit and run Cynabal does work wonders. The afterburner build can also work on this current setup, although I prefer the macro drive to quickly approach the targets. There is the Gila, 34 kilometers away from me. The Gila looks expensive. They have faction drones. I quickly closed the distance, scrambled, webbed.
We're under attack.
Approaching to 3 kilometers. I have been webbed and I have been pointed, but that's not a big problem. Looks like the Gila is using a large shield booster, or perhaps they are using a medium one with very good resistances. The Gila is one of the tankiest faction shooters in the game, so with a good build, a Gila can be a good challenge. However, I think the tank of this Gila is slowly going to be broken. I am at 69% shield. The Gila is now taking armor hits. The Gila is slowly bleeding armor, so I just have to keep on shooting.
Shield damaged.
Well, I have to say, this Gila does appear to be quite tanky. Very interested to see the build of this ship. I am now into armor, but nothing serious. The Cynabal has a lot of armor as well, so not a big problem. And the Gila has been destroyed. Let's take a look at the wreck. And let's warp out.
We're under attack.
Warp drive active.
I had an awesome battle with a Drake that left me in 28% armor. Unfortunately, did not record that one because I thought that it would be a quick kill, so I didn't click record, but I was wrong. A good build can easily counter high DPS. Let's take a look at the kill. 2 billion. Well, actually a pretty expensive Gila. Large booster. Looks like a PvP build and integrations for tank. That explains why this ship was so tanky. They had rig integrations. Well, a solid build, I like it. Definitely a better build than the usual builds that we see. Now you might be thinking, what the hell is going on here? Well, this is the classic Cynabal mating ritual. This is how we summon targets to appear in our system. Basically, gather a bunch of Cynabals and orbit at 0. Everyone orbits at 0 from one Cynabal, so they are all moving in this way. And I think the Cynabal ritual here is working wonders, because as you will see later, we will get a lot of very good targets. And again, it's very nice to see a good old Cynabal fleet. This definitely does give a opportunity for some very nice screenshots. Potentially going to be the thumbnail, I don't know. Getting a thumbnail for the Cynabal is sometimes quite difficult. Because this ship is... let's just say the Cynabal is definitely not the prettiest ship. It's actually one of the weirdest looking ships in the game, especially once you see the face that the Cynabal has from the front, you cannot unsee that. And yeah, once I saw the face, I cannot unsee it. But still, I really do enjoy flying this ship. It's an amazing boat. And this Cynabal, while maintaining such crazy DPS, is still very cheap. I think the cost of this thing is like 750 million or something like that. Perhaps the price did go up because some of the modules have become more expensive, but overall the Cynabal is very cheap. Alright, let's go to the next target. We have another Gila.
Warp drive active.
I will attempt to go kill the Gila and then kill the Harby. Okay, there is the Gila. Let's approach. Webbed and scrambled. And, well, the Gila, of course, was stabbed. Well then, let's go to the next target. Let's go to the Harby. Let me double check the location of Harby, just in case they are at a gate. Seems they are not at a gate, so it is safe to warp. And looks like the Harby has finished the mission, so yeah, I guess I'm not going to kill...
Warp drive
I guess
active.
I'm not going to kill the Harby, and I missed the Gila because they had stabs. This is one of the things that... this is one of the reasons why the Cynabal is mostly required to fly in a fleet, because you will have ships with stabs, and ships with stabs are
Warp drive active.
going to be running away very easily. Okay, we have another Gila here on the menu. Let's approach. Excellent warping. Hopefully this Gila is not going to be stabbed. Approaching 3 kilometers. Looks like this Gila is not as tanky as the previous one.
We're under attack.
Extended active. Although this Gila seems to have DPS but not tank. Damage control active as well.
We're under attack.
Now the Gila is in armor. Actually no, looks like they don't have DPS. The shield extender is not moving much. In any case, the Gila is now into very low hull and the Gila has been destroyed. Okay, nice loot. Let's warp out.
Warp drive active.
Let's align towards the station, and then I can take a look at the kill. 1.2 billion, a DPS built Gila, although they did not have expensive drones, Mark V drones. And they did have the tank build, but it did not feel very tanky. I think that's because they used a medium booster. And of course they had a DPS build. Next target we have a Cynabal.
Warp drive active.
And for a Cynabal, I will use my own Cynabal. I will use the Ashmu, but problem are stabs, so dual scrambers are a must. Pretty good warping. I warped close to the Cynabal, scrambled and swept, approaching to 3 kilometers. Gyro stabilizer on, implant activated, so let's quickly break the shield tank off the
We're
Cynabal.
under attack.
Extender active. A Cynabal usually has a lot more DPS than a Gila, so damage control is also activated. The extender has absorbed a lot of damage. Now the damage control will absorb the next incoming damage.
We're under attack.
And the Cynabal has been destroyed. Let's loot and let's warp out. Well, some very nice loot. Almost
We're
always
under attack.
very nice to get that damage control, which can be very expensive on the
Warp
market.
drive active.
I was left in 64% shield. I think I was a little bit too late on the damage control activation there. I should have activated the damage control at the same time as the extender. I would probably take even less shield damage, but it's fine. 1.5 billion. And this also looks like a PvP Cynabal. They also had the tungsten nanocore, the same core that I use on this ship. Next target we have a succubus, and I am in the Stratius. Now why do I use the Stratius
Warp drive
against
active.
faction frigates? Well, mostly because the Stratius can be very sneaky. It can approach the target cloaked, and basically you wait for the frigate to be within your range and then you decloak and tackle. So let's see how this tactic works. So I see that the succubus is orbiting at about 6 kilometers from the Dominics. Now you can double click on the target to check out their shield, armor and hull status. That's what I did there. And now I am approaching for a good angle. Let's use the afterburner. I have decloaked. Well, I missed the orbit by a little, but the succubus is orbiting very quickly, so they flew back right in the web and scramble range of the Stratius, and a webbed and scrambled succubus is a dead succubus. That was a very quick kill. And the succubus left no wreck, and that is very unfortunate. Not really sure. I think they had the mining self-destruction implant on level 30, although not really sure why
We're
would
under attack.
you use that on a frigate, but I guess if it means that you prevent someone to loot your wreck, I guess that's a
Warp
very
drive active.
interesting tactic. That succubus dropped no loot at all, and that's kinda hilarious. And I will show you the kill in a moment. Let me just land over here and let me align myself towards a random point in space. 491 million. The Voyage core did not save this succubus, that's for sure. And nothing dropped. This is the saddest loot drop that I have ever seen.
Drive active.
This was, yeah, this was a very, very bad loot drop. Okay, let's go to the next target. We have a prophecy, 17 kilometers. I tried to catch this prophecy multiple times, but they kept warping away. And finally, after multiple attempts, I caught them. Scrambled and webbed. Prophecy now into armor. And the prophecy has been destroyed. Nice, let's loot the wreck. Some good loot. And let's warp out.
We're under attack.
Warp drive active.
Overall, was a nice chase, I have to admit. I had to leave system and wait for 5 minutes and then come back. And of course, salt, that's the thing, that's the actual thing. What's been happening? 280 million, looks like a PvP prophecy as well. Let's go to the next target. We have a cyclone. Now this cyclone seems to be using tactical missiles because of the effect that is coming off their ship. So I will warp and hopefully I'll be able to
Warp
tackle
drive
this
active.
ship. Although cyclones are also known to have 1,000,000 stabs, so perhaps I'm not going to be able to hold the ship alone, we will see. Okay, there is the cyclone glowing red because of the implant. Tackled, and of course they have stabs and they warp out. But I was able to tackle them before they warped out. So that's something that I did not expect happening, but
We're under
lately
attack.
Warp drive active.
lately I became really good at tackling aligned targets with the Cynabal. Probably because I've been doing it every day for the whole duration of the event, basically 24/7. There were so many targets. It was beautiful. It indeed was very beautiful. Well then, it looks like we'll have to play a bit smart to catch this target, and I have logged out for a while
Warp
and then
drive
logged back
active.
in, and we decided to go back to the mission, and we have decided to come back. And there is the cyclone. However, I have messed up
We're under attack.
the warping. I should have fleet warped. Actually no, I did not mess up anything. The cyclone got caught. This is not the same cyclone. Oh yeah, that explains it. That's why this cyclone did not warp away. It wasn't the stabbed one.
Warp drive
But
active.
the stabbed one is still somewhere in the system. And we will attempt to go and catch that cyclone. $314 million, not bad. Let's go to the
Warp
next
drive active.
target. Surprisingly, this is a Mauler, but let's just quickly delete this cruiser. The Mauler can be a very tanky ship. I remember a long time ago, when I was roaming around with my Cynabal, there was a Mauler that was actively tanking 1000 DPS coming from my Cynabal.
We're under
So
attack.
it's not a bad ship. Players just need to
Warp drive
build
active.
the ship better, and a lot of problems will simply vanish. But unfortunately, hybrid tanks is the way to go, and as long as hybrid tanks are going to be a thing, then players will be very easy targets for pirates. 55 million ISK, not bad. I think my mallet is 100 million, the one that I use for PvP. Alright, so going towards the next target, we
Warp
have a
drive
prophecy
active.
command. Now a command prophecy can be a very tanky ship, especially if they know how to build them. Command battlecruisers are very scary. Now this prophecy seems to be a armor tank, so at least it's not a cursed shield tank. I am approaching to web and scramble the target. They are using the armored command burst, which means their armor performance will be increased. And it looks like they are tanky. They are taking my DPS.
We're under attack.
Very good. However, it looks like this prophecy is lacking armor repair. They have the tank, although looks like they don't have the armor repairs. Probably a medium armor repair, definitely not a large one. And the prophecy has been destroyed. Nice. Well, some good loot. A medium armor repair. That was a build that does go towards the right way, but it's
Warp
not really
drive
fully
active.
completed because the prophecy does need a large armor repair to make that build work. Basically, you combine good resistances with very good armor repair, and when you do that, your ship will be able to withstand a lot of DPS. 234 million, and yes, they had a medium armor repair. The only thing that I would change is the medium armor repair into a large one. That way the ship will be able to take a lot more damage. And the loot was also really nice. Alright, well, that was a very, very solid faction cruiser run, and these were some of the last battles and last targets and last kills from the Valentine's event. Overall, that event was absolutely amazing. We have enjoyed it from start to finish, and I really hope that the developers add a event similar, or even better, a better event than the Valentine's event in the future. And with that being said, I really hope that you guys have enjoyed. As always, I love you all, fly safe, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.